So I've got another breathing exercise for you today, and this one's to really stretch the diaphragm. So we already know that when you breathe, as you breathe in, your diaphragm flattens and shortens, and as you breathe out, it domes up and it stretches. So the best way to stretch the diaphragm is to breathe out as far as you can, and then to add in a pause, because we know that when you're stretching your quads or your hamstrings, you don't just sort of get to the end of the stretch and then switch it off again. You actually work into the stretch, you hold that stretch, and that's how you really develop the length of the muscle, or the flexibility of the muscle, depending on what you're going for. So it's exactly the same for the diaphragm. We take it to end of range and then we hold it there for a bit, and that's how we perpetuate or just enhance the stretch. So we're going to do the same thing as usual with the start of the breathing, tongue to the roof of the mouth, lips closed, jaw slightly open, and then I'm just going to get you to preferentially work the diaphragm by just letting your chin drop down a little bit, shoulders slump, and that gets the diaphragm working a little bit harder. And then we're going to take a breath in through the nose and then breathe out all the way. And then when you get to the end of that, add in a pause. And I want you to try and time that pause for as long, and see how long you can hold it before your brain desperately wants a breath. Okay, so here we go. So I managed about 13 seconds, which isn't terrible, but it's also not amazing. You know, sort of in the ideal world, we'd be aiming for more, maybe like 25 seconds, 30 seconds, something like that. So I'm going to have to work on that and see if I can build that up. So to do that, rather than just going to, because my brain now thinks, panic, 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 I've hit that 13 seconds. That's like doing my 1 rep max. So I'm not going to be able to repeat that, and I'm not going to be able to build on that. So what I'm going to do instead is go to about 60 to 80% of that 1 rep max. So let's go for 9 seconds. And then I'm going to try and hold that 9 seconds repeatedly. Okay, so I'm going to start with 3 sets of 9-second holds with a breath in between. And then I'm going to build up that 4 sets, 5 sets, 6 sets. When I can do 6 sets, then I'm going to start doing, can I do 10 seconds, 6 sets of 10? Can I do 6 sets of 11? And gradually work that out. So I'm getting the stretch, but without the panic. So my nervous system isn't sort of going, oh my God, this is horrific, I can't cope. So we're doing, 60 to 80% is manageable. My brain's not going to panic at that point, and I can do it repeatedly. So if I was comparing the diaphragm to your biceps, if you can do, say 20 kilos as a 1 rep max, but you can do, say, 12 to 15 kilos, do 10 sets, that's exactly what we're doing with the diaphragm. Yeah, so we're trying to get sort of a lower load, but more reps. And that's how we build the diaphragm's endurance and how we build its stretch. Okay, so we're going to go for 3 sets of 60 to 80% to start with, build up to 6 sets as your brain can cope with, and then start adding a bit more time onto it so that you can build some endurance. And that's how you train the diaphragm stretch for endurance and gradually damp down your nervous system so that it's got more capacity in it.